What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my R&B review. This is your boy Reg here. Album I'm about to review today is Rick James's 1988 album Wonderful. This is the first album that he dropped in Warner Brothers Records and stuff like that. Yeah, man. Rick James with Wonderful and shit. The only single this album was released with was Lucy's Rap. Lucy's Rap, and I want to say the song Wonderful itself was a single, but the I can't even talk. The album that this song is known for, or the song that the album is known for, is Lucy's Rap, and that is featuring with Roxy and Shantae. Yes, the same Roxy and Shantae that was member of the Juice Crew, going after, also went after, UTFO, Boogie Down Productions, and so on and so on. Alright, so basically after the disappointment of The Flag, he left Motown Records, and he was shopping around to other record labels and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to get himself cleaned up, and so that's when Warner Brothers had approached him, basically, signing up to deal with Warner Brothers. Rick was kinda in between with that, from what I've read, because of the fact that at that same time too, who was the biggest star in Warner Brothers? Prince. At that time, Prince was like the biggest star in Warner Brothers at that time. So with that being said, he didn't want to get secondhand. He wanted to get put in the sideline by Prince or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's basically what had happened with the Wonderful album. But he eventually signed to the label. They were wanting him to rebrand his image up a little bit, making less, more of just rebrand his image, trying to attract a more of a new demographic, basically, with this album and shit like that, which means the heavy influence with hip hop and with R&B and whatnot. So yeah, man, that's basically where I got with this album right here. And so with this album cover, oh Jesus Christ, what was Rick thinking when it came to this album cover? Fucking flower, buttoned up kind of ordeal and shit like that. Oh man, damn, this shit right here, basically. Yeah, man. You just got this shit right here. Yeah, man, fucking Rick James and shit like that. Fucking guitar. And then inside, what you got here, they got the fucking lyrics of all the fucking songs, which you guys know how I feel about that. Alright, so Wonderful. It has 11 songs and shit like that. Songs, like I said, Roxanne Shantae is on the song, and Chrissy Cinta, who was of the comedy group called the Cintas and shit like that. She appeared on the track. And with that being said, let's get started. Track number 1, Wonderful. Pretty funky song. And just kind of one thing about this album, he tries, I don't know if it's just me, but there were a couple times when he sounded like Larry Blackmon from Cameo and shit like that, especially with that owl sound. Because, around the late 80s, Cameo was very big at that time too, with that Word Up album, Candy. Everyone knows those songs and shit. And so just hearing Rick James just doing that shit alone would just kind of cringes me a little bit. But oh boy, with this album, man, you'll see a lot of cringe moments and stuff like that. Sorry about that, but yeah, man. And I've read that Michael Cooper of Confunction did some work vocals on this album too, but I'm not really been 100% sure trying to like find anything of it. You know what I'm saying? So, and the personnel didn't really include it either. So yeah. So yeah, with that being said, that's wonderful. Track number 2 we got is Judy. Pretty much what I like to see like as a love song to this chick named Judy and shit. Rick James made a lot of dope material, dope songs in this vein and shit like that, you know. But this was not one, again, like this was not one of like his best moments and shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, fuck that shit. This was not like one of his best moments. Just had like more of like a watered down, like more of like a watered down feel to it and shit like that. And you know with Rick James and shit like that, with Rick James and shit, people always want to say he always talks about the same shit over and over again. But yeah, yeah, just could have done without this track. Track number 3, Lucy's Rap, which is playing in the background in case you guys hear. This song features Roxanne Shante. I'm gonna be quite honest with everybody. This is probably my favorite song off this fucking album. And yeah, like it was a huge single at that time. I mean, not like a huge single, but it kind of like was a minor comeback for Rick at that time and shit. Yeah, man, Lucy's Rap. Love that fucking bass line. Love the guitar riff and shit. Definitely had that traditional Rick James steez, that sound and shit. The video was dope too. I think they filmed the video in Vegas or some shit like that. Roxanne Shante, she was not in the video actually. And yeah, this was actually his first #1 hit since I want to say Cold Blooded too. So that's something to be brag home about. And it kind of caught some controversy because, again, when it came to like the music videos, Rick James, I think they banned the music video on MTV and even on BET too because of the sexual content. Cause it had like a lot of models and shit like that. And then me personally, I've seen the video. It's not that bad. It's just Rick is being Rick. It's pretty tame in today's world and shit like that. But yeah, that was just another way of Rick James battle against the music video industry too. So Lucy's Rap, very dope song. I like that shit. Roxanne Shante, of course, did a thing with that one. Then we got It's So Tight, which again, not a bad song, but it just has that cameo. Just has that cameo feel to it and shit like that too. So that's one thing I got from this song. Too Tight, not so tight, not really too fond of it like that. Enjoyable, but eh. Then we got a Sexual Love Affair. Sexual Love Affair. What can I say about this? It's an okay song. I like the melody and shit like that, but again, it didn't really grasp or excite me like I thought it would be. But next track is Love's Fire. Definitely love this shit right here. This is probably my second favorite song off this album. It pretty much has that late 80s feel good kind of ordeal to it, that I might say. Definitely love that. I love the way he was singing. He definitely sounded alive on that track. Then we got I Believe in You, which is like pretty much a ballad. Yeah, not really too fond of that one right there either. Don't really care for that. In the Girls Room, I could have done without that track. Hypnotize. What can I say about it? Did I say anything about Hypnotize? Yeah, man. It's just like, so, to keep it a buck with everybody, like the rest of the album is not that good and shit. There was this one song called Hot Summer Nights with Chris Ushinta that I was listening to, but I think that is only available on the CD because it's not available on the vinyl. copy, which I've just noticed that shit today when I was reviewing the album and working on my thoughts on this album, basically. But yeah, this is Rick James Wonderful. Not a good album in my opinion. Very not a good album and shit. And I have to really keep it a band, but I have to say this album's a little bit better, but that's not saying much. A little bit better than The Flag, which in my opinion, I'm just gonna say The Flag is like probably his worst album in my opinion. Like with this one, his energy was back a little bit with a couple songs, but at the same time, like some of the song executions were not too good. Like In the Girls Room, Hypnotized, Judy. Like the only really good song I would say was pretty solid was Wonderful, which I'll give a solid note on that. Lucy's Rap. And the song he did with Chrissy Shinta, which was Hot Summer Nights, that was pretty cool too, but I wish was on the vinyl pressing of this album. I wish. With that being said, and shit, yeah, this whole fucking album, like the late 80s was just not a good period for Rick James and shit. And this album has some potential. It definitely had potential, but it's just that the bad song ideas that this album had at the same time trying to rebrand him for a new demographic was also not too good either. And one thing I've noticed about this album was it was executive produced by Benny Medina, I think, who was at the time an A&R in Warner Brothers Records, and he was also you guys heard the name Benny Medina because the fact that he's the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And what I mean by that is, with the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he was the dude that the show is based off on, like, and stuff like that too. So that's what I think I got from there and shit. So, and you know, Rick James, he was always known to have like control over his music and shit like that too. You know, cause I think if I'm not mistaken, he executive produced like a majority of his albums and stuff. So with him, and so like with him, you know, kind of taking a backseat, it's just kind of like, okay, you know, is just a lot of label interference with this album and shit. So unfortunately, this album's out of print and stuff. So if you can find it, and if you're a really big Rick James fan, this is a must-have in your collection. If not, then yeah, like, if you, for my Rick James head, if you really want to get into Rick James music, just check out his discography from like 78 to 83, 85 maybe, and shit like that. But yeah, it was a very dope experience. I had like a lot of fun like looking into his albums and reviewing, because like I said before, I don't have the Urban Rhapsody album, and I don't have the Kickin' album, which that was supposed to have been the follow-up to this album. But, you know, they had to shelve that album and shit like that. They had to shelve the album and stuff because, you know, he was going through some shit too. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, it was a lot of fun reviewing his albums. It just hit me that I've been reviewing his albums since like February of this year and shit. So, damn, this year went by fast as fuck. So, yeah, man, that's fucking Rick James Wonderful. I know that I still gotta review the remaining Teena Marie albums I do have in my collection and stuff too. So, stay tuned on that shit. I know originally too, I'm still gonna do the review on Boot Camp Clicks for the People. I was supposed to have done that earlier today, but I was just so tired from, you know, school and music, so bear with me. But with that being said, stay tuned for more stuff. Make sure y'all click that subscribe button if y'all want some more reviews, good shit, and all that. So, peace.